What I spent in a week as a 28-year-old mom of 3. This week we did discover that we have some large purchases that are going to be coming up. Was it a necessary $90 to spend? Not really. The final total of what I spent in a week this week was... Hello you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and if you are new here, then an extra special welcome to you. My name is Beth and I post all kinds of motherhood and lifestyle videos here on my little corner of YouTube, and I'm glad you are here with me today. I'm going to be filming something a little bit different this week. I thought it would be fun and interesting to do a full what I spent in a week as a 28-year-old mom of 3 living in Canada, working in some capacity, staying home in a larger capacity. I don't ever quite know how to label kind of my relationship with work, but I am a YouTuber. I have a freelance marketing business on the side as well. So while I don't work necessarily full time, I do work. So feel free to call that whatever you want to call that, but I do stay home with my kids, and one of my jobs as the primary keeper of our home is to stay on top of our budget and where we are spending and what that looks like. I'm going to do my very best to not spend more than I typically would, but to give you guys a very realistic and accurate picture of what I currently spend. It is currently a Sunday. We've just gotten back from church. The groceries have been delivered. I typically do all of our meal planning on Sunday evenings to have things delivered to our home on Monday morning, but tomorrow is actually a holiday, so I had to be a little bit more organized this week and have everything arrive one day early. I have done a whole video on how I meal plan and what budget typically looks like for that, so I will leave a link for that here. But essentially, when it comes to how I meal plan, I always take an inventory of what is in our fridge, our freezer, our pantry, so I can start by working through the food that we already have. After that point, I generally will take a look at the meat that is on sale, and our dinners usually translate into being our lunches the next day as well. So I do need to cook and create enough that we can actually eat again for lunch the next day. Sometimes I try and stretch a meal over a number of days, so it just kind of depends on what the week looks like and what recipes I choose, but I have a family recipe bank that I choose from, and I aim for like 4 to 5 dinners a week. So that's the background on the groceries here today. I've got my little note in my phone which describes to me each day of the week and what is happening that day, whether we are hosting, whether there is a recipe I need to reference for the meal that I'm making. On the docket, we've got stuffed peppers on Tuesday night. On Wednesday, I'm going to be doing chicken thighs with potato and broccoli. On Thursday, I'm doing barbecue chicken drumsticks, and we'll be having that with pasta salad and corn on the cob. And then on Friday night, we are going to be doing Greek bowls with chicken. And in front of me are all of the groceries that I needed to purchase to kind of fill in the gaps and make that happen. So I will give you guys a quick little haul before I actually share the total of what I spent on this. Starting over here, we've got some fresh corn on the cob. This was on sale this week because it is in season. So I think this was like 27 cents per cob, and I grabbed 6 of them. I also grabbed a couple of peppers for stuffed peppers this week. I have 3 of these currently in the fridge that we didn't eat through last week, so I kind of planned stuffed peppers around needing to clear them out. We've got some cherry tomatoes that I will use for our Greek bowls, some strawberries to supplement us with. I did take the kids strawberry picking earlier this week, but we've eaten through so many of them already, and our kids are obsessed with strawberries, so these were also on sale. I think it was $1.44. I grabbed a bunch of bananas because we're always going through those, and whenever I don't use them, I use them for baking. And then over here we have broccoli crowns, some lettuce just for sandwiches here and there, some apples, as well as a couple cucumbers. All of the animal products for the week are over here. So I have a couple of cartons of 2% milk. This is a new thing for our family. We have actually been drinking this milk for a number of months now because it's the best dairy-free alternative I have found, and my son has been dairy-free for the last year and a half or so. But we are now on a journey of reintroducing some dairy products to him, and so I'm actually going to attempt this week. I grabbed some Greek yogurt, which we use for a lot of yogurt bowls and smoothies, some cheese, a supplemental carton of eggs. I would say we typically go through like 36 large eggs a week. And then over here we have all of our meat products. So this is a local brand. I really love having that on hand just as like a high protein snack. And then this is all of the supplemental meat that I needed for the week this week. So we've got some lean ground beef, some chicken thighs, as well as some chicken breast. I also missed this over here, but I did grab some feta for our Greek bowls as well as some tzatziki for those. Over here are all of the bread products for the week. So I do have a couple of sandwich loaves already in the cupboard and just needed to supplement with this one. And then I grabbed a couple of these bags of pitas because our kids really love these as quick snacks and they're excellent for kind of like charcuterie style lunches with them. And then speaking of the kids, these are the only like snack things I grabbed for them. So I don't do a ton of like boxed foods or like boxed snacks with them, and that's not to like make myself sound good. It's just because it's so expensive to buy snacks for kids. So we do often make a lot of things here like muffins or homemade trail mixes, or I'll just give them like fruits and vegetables to snack on. But I did grab a box of applesauce, and I'm noticing that Minions are kind of all over our groceries, which is interesting. I usually do grab these kinds of things at Costco because it's a much better price for the amount that we go through. But again, it's a busy week and we won't have time to make it there before we'll need to start going through these. So these were on sale for I think $8 this week, which is pretty decent. I also grabbed some of these little Made Good granola bars. These are dairy free, so I've been using them for the past year and a half with our middle child, but who knows, we might be able to explore some new snacks soon. And then I grabbed some Annie's mac and cheese because again, I don't often do boxed meals or things like that, but whenever we do, our kids are obsessed with the Annie's mac and cheese, and I thought that they would get a kick out of the Spider-Man theme. And then lastly over here, I did grab these Mock Fruit Stations popsicles. I haven't tried these before, but the sugar content isn't too high. And then lastly, a couple of dry goods. I grabbed some Kalamata olives for the Greek bowls, some liquid pectin because I am hoping to make some jam this week, and some ground ginger because we do often create a lot of like Asian inspired dishes and I go through this like crazy. You're probably thinking, cut to the chase, what was the cost of all of those groceries? And before I get to what I actually spent, let's just talk about grocery budget for a minute. For the longest time, I have been trying to purchase all of our groceries at $125 Canadian per week. That comes out to about $92 American, and I believe the monthly cost of that in American dollars would be less than 400 bucks. That being said, I think everyone can agree that in the last couple of years and months even, that the cost of groceries have just continued to go up and up and up. So with that consideration, and also the consideration of our kids getting older and eating a little bit more and adding another baby to the family and breastfeeding, our grocery budget has inched up, and I would say is closer to the like $150 to $160 range per week. And that's just food alone. So I have a separate budget for things like household products like toilet paper, cleaning products, anything I need for around the house. And I did also need to do a re-up on that for this week, but I'm guessing that this will probably last us anywhere from like 3 weeks to 4 weeks. It's kind of hard to know. We're going through this stuff and I just am in a paper towel season of life right now. That means our total spend for this week on groceries and household products came out to $198.51. And then there's the diapers. As I mentioned, we do have 3 kids that are ages 3 and under, so our house is a little bit of a diaper factory, and we have 1 toddler that is still full-time in pull-ups, as well as an 8-week-old that I am now moving up into size 2 diapers. So the cost of 96 pull-ups was $31.98, and for 144 baby diapers, I paid $39.97 for a total of $71.95 spent on diapers this week, which, I mean, if you're calculating over a weekly basis, ends up being like 35 bucks a week on diapers, which is pretty crazy, honestly. So as of this Sunday afternoon, which I consider to be the beginning of my spending for this week, we are currently $270.46 in the hole. Well, it is now Tuesday. I didn't pop in yesterday to give a spending update just because yesterday actually ended up being a no spend day, which is great. So I didn't really have much to update on, but I do have an update from Sunday night. So after I filmed putting all the groceries away, Jared and I did actually end up eating out that night. And long story short, basically my sister-in-law came and offered to hang out with our big kids and put them to bed because my husband was preaching at our evening service on Sunday night. So I actually had the opportunity to go and listen to him speak, which is really special. And that ended up just being like our date night for the week because the next day, Monday, was a holiday. But after he preached, we went out and we got some food together. We went and got burgers, and that was $29.81. So that makes my new Sunday total $300.24, which is a spendier day. But again, that was all of our food in the fridge for the week, and then also getting to go out on a date night with my husband. So no regrets there. But as I mentioned, yesterday ended up being a no spend day. So $0 was the total for yesterday. And that is honestly a good thing because we do have some big purchases coming up that are a little bit unexpected and things that we're kind of saving towards for next summer, which I'll update on in a little bit. But we are having to crack down a little bit more and just pay more attention when it comes to our budgets. And that is why I am super excited to be working with Rocket Money on this video. If you have never heard of Rocket Money before, it is a personal finance app that allows you to manage your subscriptions, lower your bills, build custom budgets, and grow your savings all in one place. I know for my husband and I, budgeting has always been a priority for us, but I think the thing that can often trip people up and can often trip us up is you set a budget and then you can kind of find over time that it's not necessarily working for your lifestyle or your circumstances anymore. The nice thing about Rocket Money is that it will actually analyze your spending habits to build a custom budget based on your behavior. So it will automatically monitor your spending by category and then actually send you a notification when you have exceeded your total for that category. And another feature that I know that we are both super excited to use is the Smart Savings tool. So all you have to do is choose an amount and a frequency, and Rocket Money will automatically deposit that amount into an account that you can withdraw from at any point in time. I do think one of the coolest things about Rocket Money though is that it can actually safely and securely cancel unwanted subscriptions for you. Oh, it's okay. Sorry, reflux baby. We actually discovered recently that my 1-year-old had gotten his hands on our TV remote and had placed an order for a streaming subscription service that we had no idea he had placed an order for. So Rocket Money is incredible at helping you catch things like that. You can actually cancel within the app in just a couple of taps, so you don't have to worry about getting on the phone with anyone and having those long, frustrating customer service calls. And Rocket Money has helped its customers save up to $740 a year. So if you are also looking to get a better handle on the finances for your household, Rocket Money is the tool for you to save more and spend less. You can join the over 5 million members on Rocket Money by heading to the link in my description box or going straight to rocketmoney.com/BethGraceMoore to get started for free. Thank you to Rocket Money for working with me on this video and for helping us just tighten everything up with our finances these days. So as I mentioned, this week we did discover that we have some large purchases that are going to be coming up likely next summer from what we've decided. Basically, for anyone that doesn't know, my husband and I moved into the house that we are in now 2 years ago now, I think, which is crazy. I can't believe it's already been that long. And back when we bought our house 2 years ago, it was kind of at the peak of the like housing bubble. The supply was much lower than the demand and prices were really crazy and people were just overpaying for property. And all of that is not to say that we are in a bad spot now by any means. I think God really pulled through for us in that season and set us up with an awesome spot in the market during that time. But one of the things that did happen as a result of that is that we never did like a house inspection as one of the conditions to purchase our home. Also, I don't know if you can see my lower body like shaking, but I'm currently bouncing Rosie in her baby Bjorn chair, so that's what's going on out of the frame. Anyway, having a home inspection now is one of those things that it seems like everyone is just doing, but if you were to request that before, it was like one of those things that would kind of put you in jeopardy of actually closing on the house. So we ended up purchasing this house without an inspection, and again, it's one of those things that God just pulled through in because I feel like that could end up a lot worse than it did for us. But one of the things that we did discover this summer is that our pool that's in our backyard is actually very, very old and needs significant repairs. Essentially, the pool has been there for like 30 something years, and it's not an in-ground pool, but it's also not an above ground pool. It's called an on-ground pool, and that is not something that Jared and I even knew existed, but I had to call and call and call to find someone like in our area that knew anything about this type of pool. So I finally found someone that could come and take a look at it and let us know like what it would take for us to get it running this summer, let alone next summer, to repair this thing and get it into like full functionality, or to kind of salvage what's back there. It's gonna be like thousands of dollars, and we obviously like didn't really intend on having a pool at this stage of our lives. It just ended up being something that came with our property. property, and that has been a huge blessing. Our kids loved it last summer when they got to use it quite a bit, but now we're just trying to figure out what that's gonna look like for us moving forward and kind of what we want to do with all of it. And we know that everything is gonna be all right. We trust that God is gonna provide, and we'll figure out what we need to figure out to kind of deal with it all. But it was one of those things where it was just like, all right, when it comes to house projects and things that come up, we're in a totally different territory when it comes to what we need to save and prioritize. So I'm very glad that yesterday was able to be a no spend day. But today I did have to place an order on Amazon for a couple of things that we just needed around the house. Just a bunch of boring things, honestly. I got some of those really big like outdoor waste bags for our backyard just because we fly through those in the summer. There's just like so much cleanup that needs to happen. I used quite a few of those bags, and then I also did get some compost bags, which is another thing that we go through relatively quickly. And then I did also purchase a couple of things for myself. So I bought a new tripod for my phone, basically one that I can just set up and use to create content. Our kids misplaced mine. I honestly have no idea when the last time I saw it was, but they were playing with it in our house like probably 3 weeks ago, and I have not seen it since then. I don't know if you guys also experience this, where it's just like your kids will get their hands on something and then it just like evaporates. But I swear I have looked in every pocket, every inch of our house, have not seen it. So I was getting to the point where I was like, I need to actually do work with this thing now, and I need to just get another one. Hi, baby. Are you chatting? Are you chatting? You wanna come here? Hi. Oh. The last thing that I got is something that I'm kind of sad about. Since I've had her, I cannot wear natural deodorant anymore. I have been wearing native deodorant for probably 2 years now. I love the smell. I find that it's worked on me. But for whatever reason, like since this third like postpartum period, I've just found that natural deodorant has not worked for me anymore. I just feel like it's not holding up in terms of protecting against sweat and smell in the way that it used to. And I am someone that is just very particular about scent and smelling good, and so the thought of it not working has driven me to literally just go back to regular deodorant. But the thing that's sad about that is I know that there's a detoxing period that takes place with natural deodorants, and I don't want to have to like re-detox all over again. But I also know that native is one of the only natural deodorants that I've ever gotten like to work for me, and so I just don't know like what the next solution is. So if any of you guys have a good like natural deodorant that you love, I am looking for a new one, and I'll pay the price of whatever detoxing I need to do again in the future. I just don't want to smell bad. So with all of those spending updates, that puts Tuesday's total at $69.98 spent today. I'm not anticipating that any other purchases will be made today. If there are, I will update you guys at another point, but that is my Tuesday total. It is $69 and what did I say? 98 cents? 88 cents? 98 cents. Happy Wednesday. It is currently 9:13 p.m. and I am using, honestly, the last of my brain cells from this day to update you guys on my spending today. It has just felt like such a long day today. On Wednesdays, I actually have help with our kids. I have them out of the house for like a good chunk of time for me to actually be able to catch up on life stuff, primarily work stuff, because I do just have like so much work in a week that I honestly cram into those Wednesdays so that I'm not like working the rest of the week when I'm actually like with them and can just focus on being present. But that was my day today. I jumped into some YouTube stuff, but for the most part today, I was working on stuff for my freelance clients. I paid $50 per kid today, so it ended up being $100 for the day. But it's well worth it for what I'm able to kind of get done in the time that they're gone. I'm also just so grateful for the setup that we do have, because although we don't have like grandparents that can step in, we do have what I would consider to be like the next best thing, where we know the people that our kids are with, we love them, they love Jesus, our kids are just in like the best environment and getting to be with people that they know and love and other friends. And so it is like a really, really good setup. I'm not going to complain about $100 for the day, because I know that there are people that are spending so much more than that when it comes to having support with their kids. But that's pretty much it for today. I don't have any other updates. Kind of just hung out around the house and got some work done today. And right now I am super excited to go and just like take a hot shower, get ready for bed, feed the baby, and go to sleep. So I will touch base with you guys tomorrow. Hello you guys. We made it to Friday, and I love Fridays in our house because it's Jared's day off of work. He starts his weekends as of Thursday night, so Thursday nights really do feel like our Friday nights, and then Friday nights are generally very slow days as a family at home, which is what we had today. We spent a good chunk of the day today outside, and it's just now starting to cool down, which is lovely, so I'm trying to get a little bit of watering in out here in the gardens now that the kids are down to sleep for the night. But I cannot let the day end without giving you guys my check-in when it comes to what I spent today. And before I do that, I need to give you my Thursday check-in because I did not have a chance to film yesterday. It just ended up being a pretty full-on day with the kids. So starting with the Thursday update, I only purchased one thing yesterday. It was also an Amazon order. I feel like I'm realizing how much of my money is actually just going to Amazon, so that is very eye-opening, but it is also just like the most convenient thing when you're a stay-at-home mom and the deliveries can just come to your house. I don't need to load all of my kids into the car. However, I did place one order on Amazon yesterday, and you can see the result of that behind me here. I'm gonna pop over in a second to show you guys, but the total of my Amazon order yesterday was $91.52. I actually purchased something for the kids just to make the backyard a little bit more fun and toddler friendly for them, since our pool is out of commission this summer, and I can't wait to show you guys because we honestly had so much fun with it today. And if the rest of the summer is anything like today, I know that we are going to get our money's worth out of that $91 because our kids spent so much time out in it today. My back is literally like fried right now from being out in the sun with them, so I'm gonna show you guys before it gets too dark. All right, here it is. I believe it was called the My Little Garden Play Center, but I will put a link in the description box for it. When I saw it on Amazon, I just thought there was so much value because you have the two little pools, the little smaller like baby pool over here, and then this pool over here, and these are just full of grass and dirt now because our kids spent so much time in it today. But you have the two pools, and then you also have the big like inflatable slide section here, but this big rainbow piece is also a sprinkler. So if you come down here and turn this little thing, you can turn the sprinkler on, and then you can also adjust the levels. So if you want it to just be like a little bit of water on the water slide, you can do that, but then you can also turn it up just by using that little lever there. So our kids had so much fun with this today. This little section over here is great for babies that are just like learning to stand. You've got like the little balls in here that you can push out and play with in the water. And then it also has these little like mushroom things that they were using and like dumping over each other's heads. So the whole setup was just so cute, and they had such a good time with it. So again, for less than $100, I feel like this literally saved our summer because our kids had been talking so much about wanting to go into the pool, and literally every single time we would come outside they would see it and want to go in, which was just sad because we just have it kind of blocked off from them right now, obviously for safety reasons. But this is, I feel like, the perfect in-between if you have young kids that you are just trying to keep outside for the summer because it's the right size for them, it keeps them cool. So was it a necessary $90 to spend? Not really, but I do feel like we are going to get a ton of value out of it, so I will put a link in the description box if anyone else wants to check it out. That leads me into my Friday update. The only thing that I spent money on today was an invoice for our pool. Basically, when we had someone come to look at it a couple of weeks ago, we had to pay for their time to do that, and they also did do a little bit of work just on the skimmer. So although we are not opening the pool up this year, I did have to pay, I think the total was $146.90 to the pool company for coming and doing that work on our pool, which is totally fine. It's just kind of the reality of the situation. So I have nothing to show for it, but I did spend another $146 today just on pool situation. So that is the only spend that I had for today. That is the update for Thursday and Friday. Hello and happy Sunday. We made it to the final day of my updates on spending this week. Honestly, it was a little bit ambitious for me to take on a video where I was filming every single day, but here we are. I did not update you guys yesterday because, again, it was seeming like it was going to be a no spend day. We went the whole day without doing a whole lot of much. much. Honestly, just hung out with the kids in that pool in the backyard. And then we got a text from our friends in the afternoon who also have young kids, and they asked if we wanted to go out for dinner, and we thought that would be super fun. So we did actually end up going out for dinner last night with our entire family. Jared and I both got dinner there, and then we also ordered like a full entree for our kids to share. And so the total of that at the restaurant after the meals and after tip was $102.31, which seems to be kind of on par for what it costs to feed a family of, I guess, like 4 people eating at this point at a restaurant. The cost of food is just going up and up these days, but we did have a great time out at the restaurant. So that puts my Saturday total at $102.31. But we are home from church now, and I'm starting on like our Sunday reset for the week. So I'm anticipating that I'm going to be here for the rest of the day. And all that I have spent today was $3 on a coffee at church this morning. So I do have my like total for the week here to share with you guys. And the final total of what I spent in a week this week was $813.08. When I added all of that up, I was actually shocked at how much higher it was than I thought it was going to be. I think like in a given week to week, I assume that I spend like my basic like 175 on groceries. And then beyond that point, I would have thought like, oh, and then I spend like a couple $100s on maybe other household things or things for the kids or whatever. But it ended up being almost $1,000 just on little things that accumulate here and there. So this was a very good and just eye-opening experience for me to remember that each of the purchases that you are making are accumulating into something bigger and snowballing into something bigger. And eventually, if you're not on top of that stuff, you can just spend through so much money and have no idea where it went, or honestly be able to reach some of the goals that you have, because you can just be bleeding money in other places. Tomorrow night is our date night, and I think it's just going to be a good time to look at the budget again and get back on track with things together and kind of review where things have been at. But I wanted to remind you guys that if you are interested in using Rocket Money as a personal finance app when it comes to budgeting, managing subscription, lowering bills, meeting your savings goals, anything like that, that you can actually get started with them for free. I do have a link for that in the description box of this video, but you can also just head straight to rocketmoney.com/BethGraceMoore to get started. So thank you again to Rocket Money, and thank you guys for coming along with me this week and keeping me accountable on our spending goals. I'm curious what other types of videos you guys are interested in when it comes to honestly anything, but especially relating to managing the home and homemaking and motherhood and all of those different things. So let me know what types of content you guys are interested in seeing. I feel like I'm at a stage now where I'm excited to get back into doing things that are a little bit more creative and a little bit different. So let me know what you're interested in. But until my next video, I love you guys. I'm praying for you guys, and I will see you soon. Bye.